There are days when dealing with people feels heavier than any physical burden. Someone's attitude drains your energy. Someone's tone triggers your stress. Someone's behavior makes you question your patience, your kindness, or even your worth. And no matter how hard you try to stay calm, their negativity seems to slip into your mind, shaping your mood, disturbing your peace, and stealing moments you cannot get back. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He faced betrayal, pressure, and difficult personalities every single day, yet he remained steady. His wisdom offers us a calm path, a way to walk among difficult people without letting them enter our inner world. Imagine handling difficult people without stress, without anger, without losing yourself. In 2025, dealing with difficult people has become more emotionally draining than ever. People are overwhelmed, overstimulated, and constantly pushed to their limits. The world moves fast, but emotions still move slowly, and the gap between the two creates silent suffering. You interact with people who carry stress like a shadow. Some speak harshly without thinking. Some criticize because they feel insecure inside. Some push boundaries because no one ever taught them how to respect others. And some simply don't know how to handle their own emotions, so they spill them onto everyone around them. Anxiety rises when you're around unpredictable behavior. Burnout grows when you're forced to carry emotional weight that isn't yours. Distraction becomes a habit because your mind is trying to escape emotional pressure. Overthinking becomes a loop of replaying moments, trying to understand what went wrong. And emotional pain shows up in the smallest interactions: tones, expressions, comments, silence. You try to stay patient. You try to remain kind. You try not to take things personally. But difficult people often know how to test your limits without ever realizing the damage they cause. Modern life adds even more pressure: messages, notifications, fast opinions, emotional expectations. A single text can ruin an entire day. A single comment can crush your confidence. A single person's behavior can shape your emotional world more than it should. This is why Marcus Aurelius' wisdom feels almost designed for our time. He lived among people who were irrational, rude, selfish, or careless, yet he stayed calm, clear, and grounded. And you can too. Marcus Aurelius understood one timeless truth: people behave according to their nature, not your expectations. He woke up every morning reminding himself that he would meet people who were selfish, careless, jealous, stubborn, or ungrateful. Not because the world was bad, but because human beings are shaped by their experiences, fears, and limitations. He wasn't surprised by difficult people. He prepared for them. Seneca taught that harsh behavior usually comes from inner wounds. People who rush to anger often fear losing control. People who act superior often feel inferior. People who criticize others are usually unable to face their own flaws. Epictetus went even further. He said that someone else's behavior is never the problem. The real problem begins only when you let their behavior enter your mind. Here is the simple Stoic idea that brings all of this together. You cannot control their nature. You can only control your response. Think of it like walking through the wind. The wind doesn't ask your permission. It doesn't change because you want it to. It pushes the way it pushes. But you can choose to stand firm, or adjust your steps, or move with calm awareness. Difficult people are like emotional wind. Their mood shifts unpredictably. Their words carry force. Their reactions push against your peace. But none of that has power unless you lean into it. Marcus believed in something simple and profound. They can test you, but they cannot shape you unless you let them. He used one mental strategy repeatedly: the Stoic separation rule. Separate what they do from what you allow. Someone may speak rudely, that is their action. You feeling wounded, that is your interpretation. Someone may criticize you, that is their habit. You accepting their judgment, that is your decision. In modern terms, you stop giving people emotional access they haven't earned. Zeno and Musonius Rufus taught that calmness is not weakness. It is the clearest form of strength, because anyone can react, but only a disciplined mind can remain steady. When you apply this wisdom, difficult people lose their influence not because they change, but because you stop giving them the power to disturb your peace. There was a man named Julian, known for his calm voice and gentle presence. People trusted him because he listened without judgment. But that trust made him vulnerable to one person in particular, Daniel. Daniel wasn't openly cruel. He was the kind of difficult person who operated through subtle pressure. He interrupted often, corrected small details just to appear right, and shifted responsibility whenever something went wrong. When praised, he smiled. When questioned, he attacked. When confronted, he played the victim. Julian tried everything: patience, understanding, kindness. But no matter how calm he stayed, Daniel's behavior continued. Over time, Julian felt smaller around him. He found himself apologizing for things he didn't do, softening his voice, choosing silence just to avoid Daniel's unpredictable moods. One day, after a tense argument that left Julian drained and frustrated, he sat alone replaying every word. He wondered why Daniel affected him so deeply, why someone else's tone could shift his entire emotional state. Then, almost unexpectedly, a line from Marcus Aurelius surfaced in his mind. If it is endurable, then endure it. If not, then walk away. Julian realized something profound. He had been enduring the wrong things. He endured disrespect, hoping it would turn into respect. He endured manipulation, hoping it would turn into understanding. He endured stress, hoping it would turn into peace. But Marcus wasn't asking him to tolerate difficult people endlessly. He was teaching him to remain calm inside, not to surrender his boundaries outside. The next time Julian and Daniel interacted, something shifted. Daniel tried his usual tactic, subtle criticism disguised as advice. But Julian didn't shrink. He didn't justify, explain, or defend. He simply responded with clarity. I hear your point. I will take what's useful and leave the rest. Daniel froze for a moment, unsure how to react. There was no emotional entry point, no guilt, no anger, no confusion to manipulate. Only calm confidence. Over the next weeks, Julian stopped reacting to Daniel's tone. He responded only to the content, never to the pressure behind it. He created quiet boundaries, ending conversations early, refusing responsibility for what wasn't his, choosing neutrality over emotional involvement. And slowly, Daniel's power faded. Not because Julian fought him, but because Julian stopped giving him emotional fuel. Julian's transformation wasn't dramatic. It was subtle, internal, and deeply stoic. He didn't overpower Daniel. He simply stopped allowing Daniel to overpower him. And in that moment, Julian understood the real meaning of Marcus Aurelius: wisdom. Difficult people lose their strength when you stop letting them shape your inner world. Handling difficult people without stress becomes far easier when you have a clear stoic system to guide your responses. These principles are practical, simple, and powerful when applied consistently. They help you stay calm, grounded, and emotionally protected, no matter how unpredictable someone else may be. Here are 5 Stoic rules you can use. 1. The circle of control rule. A difficult person may use tone, pressure, or criticism to push you emotionally. But none of that is inside your control. Your response is. Example: someone speaks with irritation. Instead of absorbing their mood, you think, I control my reaction, not their attitude. This keeps your mind steady. 2. The pause before emotion rule. Difficult people often thrive on quick reactions. A stoic pauses before responding, creating space for clarity. Example: someone demands an immediate answer. You say, let me take a moment. This breaks their rhythm and protects your calm. 3. The separation of fact and story rule. Difficult people often mix behavior with interpretation. Stoicism teaches you to separate the two. Example: fact, they interrupted you. Story, they don't value me. Stoic approach, I don't know their intention. This keeps emotions from taking over. 4. The calm boundary rule. You do not need anger to set limits. Calm boundaries are stronger and more respected. Example: I'm willing to continue when the conversation is respectful. Clear, firm, and unemotional. Difficult people lose control when they cannot provoke you. 5. The neutral mirror rule. A stoic reflects behavior without absorbing it. You become a mirror, showing clarity, not reacting emotionally. Example: they criticize without reason. You respond, thank you, I'll consider what's useful. No defense, no surrender, no emotional fuel. When you apply these 5 principles, something powerful happens. Difficult people no longer decide your emotional state. Their words remain theirs. Their tone remains theirs. Their behavior remains theirs. Your inner peace stays with you. This is the Stoic shield Marcus Aurelius lived by. Strength through calmness, clarity through understanding, and peace through disciplined response. Let me ask you something. How much of your life have you spent carrying the weight of other people's moods? You may not realize it, but every sigh, every tone, every sharp word has shaped your emotional landscape far more than it should have. You've tried to stay patient. You've tried to stay understanding. You've tried to keep the peace, even when others didn't. But your calmness should never come at the cost of your clarity. Think of your inner world as a quiet room. Some people enter with gentleness. Others enter with noise. But the door has always been in your hands. You decide who comes close. You decide who stays. You decide how much space someone is allowed to take inside you. If difficult people have exhausted you, it doesn't mean you're weak. It means you've been carrying too much for too long without protecting your boundaries. You deserve a mind that feels safe. You deserve peace that isn't shaken by someone else's storms. And you deserve to reclaim the emotional space that has always been yours. In the end, Marcus Aurelius understood something that still matters today. You cannot change difficult people, but you can change the power they have over you. Their tone does not define your worth. Their behavior does not decide your peace. Their chaos does not have to enter your inner world. A calm mind is not a gift, it is a discipline. It is a practice. It is a choice you make again and again, especially in the presence of those who try to disrupt it. The world is full of people who will test your patience, your boundaries, and your emotional balance. But you are not here to carry their storms. You are here to build your own clarity, your own strength, your own stillness. And when you hold that stillness, even the most difficult person loses the power to shake you. Walk through the world with calmness. Respond with intention. Protect your inner peace. This is the quiet strength Marcus Aurelius lived by. And now it can live in you too.